unbi.ac.ke and be the first to secure admission at the most prestigious university in sub-Saharan Africa. The University of Nairobi is a world-class university committed to scholarly excellence.
This August 16th, join us for a night of praise and worship as the 3 times Grammy Award winners Soweto Gospel Choir perform live at Sitam Karen. Grab your tickets now for only 2,000 bob on www.ticketsasa.com and get ready for a worship experience like never before. Also performing will be Paul Clement from Tanzania, Pitson, Evelyn Wanjiro, Karura Voices, Nikita Kering, Redforth Chorus, and Spellcast Choir. Proudly brought to you by Aster Eden Planners and NTV.
Investing in the taxi business just got bigger and better with Maridadi Motors Smart PSVs. Buy a Smart Cab Plus from us at 1.25 million shillings and get 47,000 every month. A Smart Chop Chop Cab at 675,000 shillings and get 25,000 every month. Best news yet, we manage the cab for you and give you guaranteed returns every month. Maridadi Motors, move your status.
Simukuje huku kamata. Ingia kwenye mtandao.
This is my class. Wacha kieleweke. Did you know that you can come to Kata Music School, run music and entertainment, and make a career that pays? Muziki inalipa. Yeah. Go to www.kamataschool.com. Call 0700 070707. Muzazi pia leta watoto.
Nizitima.
This is NTV.
Good evening and welcome to the NTV Weekend Edition, and we start on a winning note because your normal host, that is Edmund Nyabola, has just been awarded at the annual Journalism Excellence Award for this year that is facilitated by the Media Council, and this is in the devolution category for the Court to Court, the documentary that they did a few months ago alongside Robert Gishira, our cameraman. We'd like to recognize him and say congratulations. But top on our focus in this bulletin.
Tonight, stopped in their expensive tracks, SRC intervenes to stop MCAs from awarding themselves housing allowances that would cost over 1 billion shillings a year. Also tonight, East African Portland Cement withdraws retrenchment notice even as staff walk into a future which they feel is not concrete.
Kwa sababu unajua wakifunga immediately watatutoa kwa hizi nyumba za staff quarters, na kama mambo ya kumalipo haitaangaziwa itakuwa that is the end of me, utakuwa na chochote ya kupeleka family nyumbani.
Plus, SportPesa is playing hardball. Betting firm cancels all sports sponsorship in Kenya following tax dispute with government. And getting ready for a political marathon, Kiambu edition.
We are in office for as long as the governor is away.
No. Kwani kama saa hii hapa, kama kuna mtu alikuwa amekuja na karatasi nimsaidie, si ningemsaidia tu.
Political dances, photo opportunities, and all the acts of play and pray.
Naye yule ndugu yetu, utakapokuwa ukiamua maneno zake, nimekuomba Bwana, wewe ufanye jambo yako ya siri, ili kwamba hii maneno ikae hivyo hivyo tu. na ni kwa jina la Yesu Kristo tumeomba.
Bullseye, Pretenders Edition, coming up.
NTV Weekend Edition with Mark Masai.
Thank you for joining us on NTV Weekend Edition. Flora Atieno, our sign language interpreter, and I are glad to have you on board. And we start with some news of potentially temporary relief for workers of the East African Portland Cement Company. Less than 24 hours after the company announced that all its 800 staff would be retrenched, the decision has been lifted. Now, in a letter sent out this evening, the acting Portland Cement Managing Director, Stephen They, said that the restructuring plan to fire everyone in the troubled company has been withdrawn. The message that had been sent yesterday indicated that the rationalization strategy for the company would include rehiring a lean staff, but not giving a timeline. Those who would not be rehired would receive their severance dues as a company tries to recover from the 8 million shilling loss it makes daily. Although this latest move gives the 800 employees some breathing space, the future is still uncertain because it's not clear how the company will climb out of the huge financial hole it's in. News that the decision to declare all the workers at the East African Portland Cement Company redundant has been received or reversed, and it will bring a collective sigh of relief to the staff. Many of them were beginning to ponder over a stressful future with no income. Before the redundancy notice cancelled, Charity Mwangi had met some of the Portland workers to hear their concerns.
As the East African Portland Cement Company prepared to shut the door in the face of its staff, only one word could describe the mood: fear. For Amboi, not her real name, news of the retrenchment hit her hard. She says that she, like many of her colleagues, was staring at frightening demands and obligations.
Hiyo ndio mwisho wa kila kitu, kwa sababu najua wakifunga immediately watatutoa kwa hizi nyumba za staff quarters, na kama mambo ya kumalipo haitaangaziwa itakuwa that is the end of me, manake utakuwa na chochote ya kupeleka hata family nyumbani.
This was set to be the third retrenchment since the company started facing financial challenges. The staff have seen how many others who suffered the same fate in previous years have been affected by the loss of a source of livelihood.
Leo inakuwa mbaya sana, manake watoto wao wanashinda na wale wetu. Wale wangu lunch ikifika wanaingia ndani wanakula, wale wao wanabaki hivi, na maisha mbaya sana.
Wamboi is jittery of the days ahead for her family, but she says she communicated the news to her partner just to prepare him for tough times ahead.
Ameona hiyo mambo kwa TV na akaniulizia, unaona sasa watu wako concerned. Alafu hii mambo wanamwambia kana vile watoto kusikia, kwa sababu utaki watoto wako na wasiwasi.
The Blue Triangle village is quiet, but noisy thoughts and worries flood the minds of workers who hope that the payout will be sufficient for their next moves. The cement company has also been a source of revenue for traders in the vicinity. They too were foreseeing difficult times in a tough economy.
Wafanyikazi tunasaidiana, wanatununulia nyazi, tena maji wanatusaidia nayo.
Hoteli, mabucheri hapo, mavilabu, napata sasa biashara hapo imenoga vizuri. Juu unajua hapo hivyo ndio kampuni yenye iko karibu.
The interesting bit of this whole saga is that within the walls of this company, the work is still ongoing. The employees trying to put their best foot forward with the hope that they are spared. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
As the issue of layoffs affects hundreds of Kenyans every other week, the question of how prepared the youth are for the job market arises. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has urged education institutions to work with employees or employers to design and better prepare the youth for the workplace and to bridge, the gap between the classroom and the workplace. Odinga was speaking during the International Youth Week celebrations at the United Nations headquarters in Nairobi.
Youth unemployment is a bomb waiting to explode. Education mismatch with the industry remains a big challenge. While there are more educated young people looking for work, employers say they cannot find the skills they need. The labor market is suffering from this significant skills mismatch. There's also a need for our education to focus more on what happens to students after they leave school. Education providers have no option but to work more closely with employers to make sure they are offering courses that really help the young people prepare for workplace.
Kenyan sports has been dealt a potentially knockout blow tonight after gaming company SportPesa cancelled all sports sponsorship in the country with immediate effect. SportPesa was the title sponsor of the Kenya Premier League, as well as sponsors of defending champions Gor Mahia and their arch-rivals AFC Leopards. SportPesa were also supporting boxing and motorsport. For the last month, the company has been locked in a fight with the government over tax compliance, with its operating license cancelled and its M-Pesa pay bill numbers blocked. With SportPesa pulling out, it remains to be seen whether the 2019-2020 KPL season will kick off as scheduled and if Gor Mahia will be able to honour its continental assignments. SportPesa will, however, continue operations in Tanzania, South Africa and abroad. Taxpayers may have to brace themselves for yet another round of emptying their pockets if legislators succeed in allocating themselves hefty house allowances without the approval of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC. Members of the county assemblies insist that the allowances are due to them, but SRC has not given them a go-ahead for the allocations. But as Joseph Warungu reports, as has been the unfortunate norm in the country, some elected leaders are out to live big at the expense of the common mwananchi.
The Salaries and Remunerations Commission has moved to stop members of county assemblies from allocating themselves hefty house allowances, which would cost the taxpayer over 100 million shillings monthly. A letter dated 29th July 2019 from the County Assemblies Forum to speakers of all 47 counties urged them to promptly process the motion on house allowances for members of county assemblies. The move was aimed at awarding members of county assemblies a minimum of 65,000 shillings for some and a maximum of 85,000 shillings monthly. Assuming each took home the minimum, it would cost the taxpayer 94 million shillings a month, which translates into 1.1 billion shillings annually. Forum Secretary General Kipkurui Chepkwony directed House Business Committees countrywide to allocate and prioritize tabling of the motion the day after the letter was sent out. Counties moved swiftly to pass the allowances, but the Salaries and Remunerations Commission got wind of this and wrote to the MCAs stating that only SRC had the mandate to have such a move implemented legally. But MCAs are keen on ensuring they live large. An excerpt from the Tharaka Nithi County's order paper dated 30th July 2019 noted, "It is now therefore resolved that this House does approve and adopt the resolution of the County Assembly's Forum Governing Council that the members of the County Assembly be paid a housing allowance in tandem with the ideal and adequate endowment." SRC says the assemblies are committed to pass legislation that stipulates the allowances were subject to SRC's approval. The Commission is yet to receive the final document from the County Assembly's Forum.
3 employees of the Africa Spirits Limited and Wild Beverages accused of tax evasion amounting to 41.5 billion shillings have each been released on a cash bail of 10 million shillings with an alternative bond of 20 million shillings. The 3 are among 9 individuals whom DPP Nurdin Haji issued order of arrest against on Thursday. Business owner and billionaire Humphrey Kariuki is believed to be in Maputo, Mozambique. DCI detectives were seeking to arrest him through Interpol Kenya, but now Kariuki has been summoned to appear before the court on the 19th of August. Mel Miendo reports.
A lenient order by Milimani Court in Nairobi has allowed the billionaire businessman Humphrey Kariuki another 10 days before he arrives in the country to face criminal charges. This coming right after DCI detectives had begun seeking international help in arresting him as he was believed to be in Maputo, Mozambique. Karaoke and 8 other employees of Africa Spirits Limited and WOW Beverages are accused of a 41.5 billion shilling tax evasion scheme between 2014 and 2019. On Friday morning, DCI detectives arrested Peter Njenga, the director of Africa Spirits Limited, Robert Thinji, the director of WOW Beverages, and Kefa Gakure, the tax manager in both companies. All 3 were immediately arraigned and subsequently released on a cash bail of 10 million shillings each with alternative bond of 20 million shillings. The cash bail was paid pronto. The accused will face a total of 7 charges including tax evasion, possession of counterfeit stamps and fraud. In January, a multi-agency team raided the company premises and found 80 drums of suspected uncustomed ethanol, reels of counterfeit excise stamps and 41,000 cartons of assorted alcoholic drinks affixed with counterfeit stamps. The pre-trial hearing date is set for 5th of September this year. Mel Miendo, NTV.
Maybe you've considered this. The more corruption cases there are in court, the more the unholy bedfellows emerge. One such case is that of public servants who double up as legal representatives of the same graft suspects they are mandated to audit. And so begs the question, just where do their allegiances lie? With the electorate which pays them to hold state officers to account, or with themselves by perhaps sharing in the spoils of a corrupt system? NTV's Olive Burrows has been looking into this.
He who pays the piper calls the tune, but who calls the shots when elected officials, quote unquote, grill public officials as part of their day job, then moonlight as their legal representatives. In some cases, they go up against the investigative authorities they spend their days interrogating in court.
I'm one of those lawyers who joined the team from Mwilu.
It's a question the Director of Public Prosecution raised when he went up against Senators James Orengo and Okongo Omogeni in the DCJ Philomena Mwilu graft case.
What we are avoiding is a situation like what befell Jesus, where people shout, crucify him, without going through due process.
While the courts in the Mwilu case found in favor of Senior Counsel Orengo and Omogeni, the question for most is when these public officials go against the state, whose interest do they serve? An electorate besieged by corruption or their private practice?
Please don't treat them like any other person.
But could they be speaking from both sides of the mouth?
Everybody deserves legal representation. Although personally there are matters I don't take as a matter of principle, there are clients I don't take on board, because as a matter of principle, depends on who is accused and their history. There are matters I don't take.
The advocates have come under greater scrutiny for the role they play in keeping the proceeds of graft out of sight and reach.
If a man or a woman, for that matter, is being investigated for a particular case, why should you deny the investigative arms the ability to be able to see who the beneficial owner is? I today call again on the lawyers' body and also on Parliament. Do the right thing.
Olive Burrows, NTV.
Something to think about. A medical crisis is looming at the Kitale County Referral Hospital, with the facility grappling with shortage of drugs and congestion in the maternity ward. Patients at the facility have been forced to share ward beds, while others alternate sleeping schedules to handle the dire situation. Things are worse for expectant mothers who are forced to share beds as they wait for delivery. A spot check by NTV at the maternity wing revealed that about 3 to 4 patients were sharing a single bed, while others were standing and even lying on the ground outside the ward waiting to deliver. Trans Nzoia Governor Patrick Kayemba says he has set out mechanisms to deal with the theft of drugs at the hospital.
Naanza kazi kule kwa Wizara ya Afya ambaye itaniwezesha nikipata ripoti yao kufanya restructuring, kupanga upya usimamizi wa mambo ya afya, vile tunavyotumia dawa na vile tunavyotoa na vile tunavyochunga wagonjwa.
As Kitale County grapples with that, on the bigger picture, various players in the healthcare sector have issued a week strike notice owing to unpaid salaries. The pending payments are a ripple effect of the stalemate of the Division of Revenue Bill. The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, the Kenya Health Professional Society, Kenya National Union of Medical Laboratory Technologists, and the Kenya National Union of Pharmaceutical Technologists have all added their strike notice to that of the Kenya National Union of Nurses.
The workers feel the government is not concerned about their welfare. We have therefore demanded as follows: that 1, July salary is paid within the next 7 days before 16th August of 2019.
The health workers or workers in this country in the public sector are solely dependent on their salaries for the food, for transport, for servicing their loans. They have no other source of income, and therefore they cannot be expected to deliver service when their welfare is not taken into consideration.
If salary will not have been paid by close of business on Monday, there will be total war. There will be no one to take care of sewage. Sewage will be running in these towns as if they are going home. There will be doing everything in the towns.
Kenya's first all-female counter-terrorism response team has been formed. The Elite Special Weapons and Tactics, or SWAT team, graduated after 5-month physical combat drilling, which is the first phase of a 15-month-long program training. Once fully trained, the team will play a big role in how Kenya deals with other threats like terrorism. Interior CS Fred Matiang'i says the elite team of officers is the first of its kind in the sub-Saharan Africa and will be key in promptly and precisely handling security threats and hostage crises. The training featured the application of Israeli multiple weapons handling techniques as well as explosives and IEDs management. The 48 commando officers are drawn from the Administration Police Service. I'm sure, like myself, you would want to see their faces, but for security purposes, perhaps that's not the best thing. Well, salute to them as they take on the new assignment, and we take a break here on NTV Weekend Edition. Stay with us.
Kakuma Camp in Kenya. It's home to nearly 200,000 refugees. Most are from South Sudan. After civil strife broke out in December 2013, Kakuma's population nearly doubled. The camp has run out of space. So UNHCR and its partners are building a new site, Kalobie, where refugees and locals share services, farm the land, and create businesses.
Very soon we'll be providing education. This is really a new way of working for UNHCR that does not simply provide what we used to call care and maintenance, which means day-to-day survival of the refugees, but we want to establish a more long-term sustainable model that can benefit both the refugees and the local community.
This self-reliance model the Kenyan government supports, giving refugees skills for when they can go home. Mr. Grandi met with a family who recently fled violence and hunger in South Sudan just last month.
So they are alone without any men.
He said lasting peace will be the first step to a long-term solution.
For the civilians, life continues to be very, very tough. And once peace is achieved, or a measure of peace, development will also be the big challenge in a country that has almost no infrastructure.
You can write here, right?
Yeah. Kakuma is being held up as a way of encouraging opportunities in a very harsh environment. It also offers refugees a more reasonable life during their exile.
Breakfast is not complete without the new Minute Maid NutriDefense's Nectar Plus. Complete the most important meal of the day with the goodness of great tasting juice fortified with vitamin E and zinc to complement your family's nutritional needs. Minute Maid NutriDefense's Nectar Plus. Breakfast complete.
Once again, we are at it together. We are absolutely everywhere and we love it. This is what makes us tick. This is what makes our heart beat. It is always on the edge. It is always football time.
Get an HD decoder, dish kit, plus 2 months of DSTV Family for only 4,999 shillings.
Join Telkom today and share life on our expanded 4G network. Telkom, moving with you.
The Ministry of Public Service, Youth and Gender is hosting the 2019 National Youth Week from 6th August 2019, which will culminate with the commemoration of the International Youth Day on 12th August 2019 at Matunga, Kwale County. The theme of International Youth Day 2019, Transforming Education, will highlight the Kenyan government's efforts in ensuring that education is more inclusive, accessible, and that it is fit for purpose for all youth. The ministry will also launch 12 youth empowerment centers across the country to provide sports, guidance and counseling, and ICT services. The ministry invites all youth to participate in the activities that are being carried out across the country during this week through their county offices. International Youth Day 2019. Boresha elimu, wezesha vijana.
Well,
thank you so much.
Can I buy a chocolate, please? It's for my mom. Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you, Bella. There's a class and a half in everyone.
Extraordinary could be right there in front of you without you even knowing it. A bold expression of flavor like no other. Experience extraordinary. Guinness, made of more.
We define your great moments in higher learning through our tradition, diversity, friendship, and merit. The depth and relevance of our academic programs is our pride as we shape our graduates beyond the intellect. We are ready for you. St. Paul's University avails to you variety and consistency as we keep our programs technologically driven and entrepreneurially linked to inspire innovation and service. The door to excellence is open for you. Join us now for August intake. For further information, call us or interact with us online. St. Paul's University, unleashing untapped potential.
Each time I would get home after him, he would lock me outside. The evenings were worse. A few times my firstborn daughter would throw me stuff. I shared with my mom when I managed to. I remember her asking me, does he hurt you? Does he hit you? I said no. So she said, okay, then it's okay. By the time I decided to look for help, I had been in the marriage for 19 years. And I had been in and out of depression. And I felt I was tired. I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of girl. I want to be happy.
Buy a Smart Card Plus from us at 1.25 million shillings and get 47,000 every month. A Smart Chop Chop Cab at 675,000 shillings and get 25,000 every month. Maridadi Motors. Move your status.
NTV Weekend Edition with Mark Masai.
Welcome back. After months of traveling around the country to collect the views of Kenyans on the challenges facing the country, The Building Bridges Initiative Task Force, BBI, has now completed its public engagement forums. In its proposal today before BBI, the Public Service Commission, PSC, wants the recruitment and management of workers in the county governments to revert to the national government and be handled by the PSC. PSC says governors have been interfering with the county service boards, promoting nepotism, cronyism and tribalism. Other stakeholders want the health to be put back in the hands of the national government. Vincent Odor reports.
A section of stakeholders who appeared before BBI today proposed to have a system of governance that will incorporate those who lose elections in the government.
Democracy is not necessarily socially divided.
The need to fully implement Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity was identified as the best way to deal with corruption incidents and corrupt leaders in public service.
It is absurd that somebody at a national level can win 44% of the vote and doesn't have the authority to appoint even a messenger in the new government. Something is clearly wrong.
Chapter 6 should be the anchor of the Constitution because everything depends on the individuals who are driving the process. And if the head is wrong, then everything will not work.
On its part, Public Service Commission now wants the powers to recruit and manage workers in the county governments be removed from the county service boards and be reverted to the national government's Public Service Commission.
County public service boards have no secure independence and are therefore constantly subjected to the direction and control of the county executive, thereby promoting nepotism, cronyism, tribalism, and a general lack of inclusivity.
PSC also wants the number of constitutional commissions in the country reduced, while some stakeholders want the creation of the position of a prime minister and abolishment of the bicameral parliament to revert to a single parliament system.
When you go globally, unakuta pesa ina vichwa vya watu. Si ng'ombe na, you know, all the things we are putting there mpaka visi. Very soon we'll put even. We need to capture our heroes.
The BBI task force is now supposed to retreat to compile, write and submit its report by October this year to President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga for consideration and implementation. Vincent Odur, NTV, Nairobi.
Rugby players Alex Mahaga-Olaba and Lawrence Frank Wanyama, who were found guilty of gang raping a woman, will be sentenced next week. Section 10 of the Sexual Offences Act says any person found guilty of gang rape is liable upon conviction to imprisonment for a term of not less than 15 years and may be increased to life in jail. The defense requested the court to be lenient to the young men who they say have shown remorse in the period that the case has been ongoing. They're seeking a non-custodial sentence. The prosecution, however, wants them sentenced to jail for 15 years or more. In her ruling, Chief Magistrate Martha Mutoko said the women's evidence was more believable than the rugby players.
So ruling on sentence on the 16th of August at 2 p.m. The accused persons will remain in custody.
Now let's try to make sense of the census that is going to take place later this month. The Ministry of Education has moved schools' opening date from the 26th of August to the 22nd of September. This, the ministry says, is to allow everyone across the country to participate in this year's national census. It will be the first enumeration exercise to be carried out since the adoption of the new constitution, and it will be entirely captured digitally to boost accuracy, speed, and security. Government spokesman Colonel Cyrus Oguna broke down the logistics and specifics of the process that is slated to start on the night of the 24th of August. Now let's look at some of those. Those who will be counted are all Kenyans and non-Kenyans who will be within the borders of this country on the census night. Also, conventional household. This is made up of normal family units in normal dwellings. Then there is the category of special population, which includes street families. Hotel guests will be counted from where they shall be, but use a different questionnaire. Counting of people in restricted areas such as barracks, prisons and hospitals will be done at the facilities. And night population, such as night guards, doctors on call, nurses, police officers and soldiers on duty, or socially those who are called usiku sako, shall be counted and considered to be part of their households at home. However, if you are out for a kesha or an overnight prayer session, you will not be counted as part of your households. Travelers are to be counted either at the port of entry, bus termini, or at police-manned roadblocks. Those who will not be counted are Kenyans in the diaspora or Kenyans who will be out of the country between the 24th and the 31st of August. Some of the numbers involved in this process: the entire engagement costs 18.5 billion shillings, which has been spread over the 5 years to cover pre-census activities and other costs. The total numbers of census officers is 163,307. This is broken down into 138,572 enumerators, 22,268 content supervisors, and 2,467 ICT officers. On that note, let's turn our mood, or actually our focus, to the corporate world. And one Julian's Amboko is eager to update you. Stay with us.
This is MotoHub, ultimately Kenya's finest car dealer company. Our cars are carefully sourced and selected, backed up with excellent skilled personnel. Our aim is to ensure value for your money as well as peace of mind.
When it comes to affordability check, reliability check, finance check, quality redefined check, any type of car check, whenever you need that dream car,
so, are you in need of a car? Now you know. MotoHub, we are quality redefined.
For nearly 5 decades now, Daystar has been stirring passions, supporting and shaping career aspirations as it develops transformational servant leaders for Africa and beyond.
The availability of numerous resources and great support from the faculty enabled me to shape my career. I was made at Daystar.
Book your intake now and be the next. Call us or visit www.daystar.ac.ke for more information.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because her tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity. That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate.
Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities
for maximum cavity protection.
And now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology to fight multiple tough pains, with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Tusonge mbele na Fiber Mobile. Get a Fiber SIM card today and enjoy Tusonge mbele bundles at affordable prices.
Making my family some nutritious porridge is a painstaking process. First, I have to find all the ingredients needed, and there are many. For vitamins, proteins, and minerals, I need cassava, sorghum, millet. You no longer need to go through all that to make nutritious porridge. All you need is NutriPro.
You don't have to go through the trouble of finding, measuring, and weighing all these vital ingredients. New NutriPro porridge flour comes fortified with 13 vitamins, proteins, and minerals. This means that you have more time to focus on what's important, giving your family the healthy start they deserve. NutriPro, bringing families together. From Tropical Brand.
Nini? Na kujua kwa nini wazee wetu wanapotelea kwako.
Ndio tulikuwa tunataka kujua siri yako.
Siri ndio hiyo. Introducing the new salad oil with a spout for easy use. Comes packed with omega-6 and 9 and vitamin A and D, and at a price that doesn't dent your wallet.
Leo utakula nyumbani.
Salad. Siri ndio hiyo.
School of Business University of Nairobi, globally recognized and offering internationally accredited programs, invites applications for the September 2019 intake in the following postgraduate and undergraduate programs: Master in Business Administration, Master of Science in Marketing, Human Resources Management, Entrepreneurship and Innovations Management, Finance, Supply Chain Management, Operations and Technology Management, Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor Commerce Distance Learning, Bachelor of Science in Finance, Accounting, Operations and Supply Chain Management. Programs are offered in Mombasa and Kisumu campuses and selected programs at the Eldoret Learning Center. Apply online through application.uonbi.ac.ke and be the first to secure admission at the most prestigious university in sub-Saharan Africa. The University of Nairobi is a world-class university committed to scholarly excellence.
Glad you could join us on The Only Name in Business. Welcome, I am Julians Amboko. Now, 52 former employees of telecommunications company Airtel now want the Communications Authority of Kenya to hold any further steps towards consolidating the two telco players, that is Airtel and Telcom. In a letter addressed to the authority's Director General dated August 17th, the former employees decry what they term as unfair termination of their employment in January 2016 and are demanding 1 billion shillings in compensation. They further call into question the financial health of Airtel, citing it as an indicator that it might not meet their compensation demands. Last week, Telcom Kenya indicated that it would be laying off 70% of its employees ahead of the merger set to be completed before the end of 2019. And Giles Bailey has been appointed non-executive chairperson of the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency Board for a period of 3 years. According to a Gazette notice dated August 9, 2019, Jacqueline Muga, Kathleen Kihanya and Mark Bichachi have also been appointed members of the board for a period of 3 years. The appointments follow the October 2018 cabinet decision to merge the Export Promotion Council and Brand Kenya. The board is expected to serve as a one-stop shop for Kenya's trade promotion and branding services. And Botswana-owned Choppy's supermarket continues to put up a fight to stay afloat in the country, this time signing an agreement with the Association of Kenyan Suppliers. In a public notice published in the newspapers, Choppy's says it will comply with the contract terms it has entered with all its suppliers. The troubled retailer, whose stocks have been diminishing following delays in settling debts, has seen its shelves stay bare. The situation forced it to close down its Kiambu and Bungoma branches. The supermarket has admitted to facing some operational challenges, but says that it has recapitalized the business to ensure normal operations continue. And if you're a meat lover, you are probably not going to like this story. Now, hear this. Scientists want you to give up meat in order to save the planet. As the global warming crisis intensifies, 107 scientists have released a report that urges people to reconsider their dietary preferences. The report, released under the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, cites livestock farming and poor land use systems as key contributors to climate change. It says that resolving the situation partly lies in farmers changing their land use methods and making a complete switch from meat to vegetarian diet. So would you give up meat in order to fight climate change? That's something for you to think about. And being Friday, it's time to talk about matters food. Now, Uasin Gishu County is known for maize farming and occupies an important place in the country's food system. But following successive years of crop failure and declining commodity prices, farmers are being forced to seek alternative ways of making money. And as the conversation for crop diversification picks up, tea is among those being fronted as an alternative crop. Lois Wangoi with the story of how farmers who are experimenting with tea on Food Friday.
This tea crop at Kigen Kandie Tea Estate is just slightly above a year old, grown on 30 acres of land. This plantation represents the story of a farmer who was fed up on maize farming and switched to tea.
Vile tukipanda mahindi tulikuwa na shida mingi, tulikuwa na shida ya fedha, hatukuweza kujikimu kwa familia. Ndio tukawasema tuache mahindi kwa sababu mapato ya mahindi iko chini. So tukakuja tukaona, tukafanya evaluation, tukakuja tukaona maneno ya mahindi, maneno ya majani is better than mahindi.
His was a big leap of faith, putting his entire family land into a crop he had never grown before and he knew very little about. All he had to go on were the success stories from the neighboring Nandi County. The Kigen Tea Estate sticks out like a sore thumb in this flax area, where everyone else is a maize farmer.
Although tuchafuna sana, hii ni almost the second time ama the third time, lakini tunaona mapato yake imekuja. At least hii shamba inaweza kukarimia kasi, inaweza kuchikaramia kwa kufikia sasa. Lakini maybe in the next around 3 or 4 months, hata sasa watu ya familia wataanza kupata school fees, wale directors wataweza pata kitu.
So far, he says the experiment is turning out okay, except that the prices of tea haven't picked up yet compared to the prices offered in Nandi County.
Kwa saa hii tunayepeleka kampuni yetu hapa hivi ni 20 shillings per kilo, na tungeomba serikali kaa inge double the price of it ikuwe kama 40 shillings per kilo, ndio at least inge boost juu.
Already, farmers who have switched to tea have organized themselves into cooperative societies to build on each other's strengths and learn from successful tea farmers.
Sasa unaona chai inachukua wafanyikazi wengi kuliko hasa kilimo kingine kila hasa mahindi.
Wakulima kwa eneo hili wameanza kuchukua mwelekeo ama mkondo wa kuelekeza mawazo yao katika mapato ya kila mwezi. Hiyo ni kumaanisha kwamba maneno ya chai aiende kwa mwaka, wanapata kwa kila mwezi.
Matters diversification no doubt offer solutions to the problematic maize farming here in the North Rift, but for most farmers, diversification is majorly experimental, and perhaps it is now time for the government to intensify its extension services to those farmers who are willing to diversify to ensure that they do not fall into deeper problems when it comes to crop husbandry. Lois Wangoi, NTV, Food Friday in the county of Uasin Gishu.
And it's time to see how the capital markets closed the week on the financial report.
NTV Financial Report in association with the University of Nairobi. NTV Financial Report in association with the University of Nairobi.
Be the first to secure admission at the most prestigious university in sub-Saharan Africa. The University of Nairobi is a world-class university committed to scholarly excellence.
And that's why we wrap up the day's and the week's business. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari. Nation FM. More music and less talk. Nairobi 96.3, Mombasa 101.5, Meru 93.9, Nyeri 104.9, Eldoret 102.7, and Nakuru on 97.7. Follow us on social media on Facebook at Nation FM, Instagram at Nation FM, and Twitter at Nation FM KE. Nation FM. More music and less talk.
Nilianza kucheza loto tarehe 3 mwezi ya 8 mwaka wa 2018 kwa sababu kuna wakati niliona wanasaidia wale wajuesi. Lengo langu lilikuwa shilingi yangu kama ni 50, 10 ikienda Mandera, ikienda upande ingine yangu iwe ni moja hizo. Niliwini 50,000 kwa kila mwezi mwaka mzima. Siku hiyo ambayo nilichida kwa sababu nilipigiwa bidi na kitu simu, nilikuwa tu na watch television. Nilisikia furaha, natarajia kuongeza ukulima wangu. Na kwa vile niko na kamjengo naye nitatupa kidogo kwa hiyo kamjengo. Asante sana Lotto, tuzidi pamoja.
Win every day with Lotto and join over 30,000 winners this month. Plus, win over 1 million shillings on Wednesday or a guaranteed 1.2 million shillings this Saturday. Cheza tuzidi pamoja. Send 50 shillings to paybill number 77700. Account name NTV. Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Enjoy all your favorite NTV programs on all free-to-air set-top boxes and digital TVs. Catch us on ADN channel 101 and 103, DSTV channel 271, GoTV channel 91, Zuku channel 13, and Star Times channel 106. NTV, turning on your world.
NTV Weekend Edition with Mark Masai.
Welcome back, and it's time to loosen up a bit because it's bullseye. And the Kenyan politician, as you may have observed, is evolving. His or her thick skin meant to cushion against political turbulence is now a hide, just as Ferdinand Waititu. Amid the storm, he of the Babayao fame remains defiant, perhaps the only line of defense available to him. It's all about survival, and as Emmanuel Juma now reports on Bullseye, it's amazing the number of silly things they do for that picture opportunity.
And I have proved so many of them.
Proved, approved, it doesn't matter now where Waititu is concerned, as one needs no proof to realize that it's no longer a tease for Babayao. All he wants is to pray, but he's not the only one praying.
Bwana, Muumba wa mbingu na nchi, tuko hapa sio kusherehekea katika kuangamia kwa mtu ama kurudi nyuma kwa mtu.
He of the Ekeza fame is also leading parallel prayers. What's going on here?
We've just finished that cabinet meeting and we'll continue.
Mkutano ya cabinet sio kama mkutano ya baraza. Mkutano ya cabinet inafanywa na agenda.
We are in office for as long as the governor is away.
Could this have been Babayao's last dance as governor?
Huwezi fanya kazi hiyo unajaribu kusema ifanywe na deputy kama hajakuwa gazetted.
But you have no office, right?
No. Kwani kama saa hii hapa kama kuna mtu alikuwa amekuja na karatasi nimsainie, si ningemsainia tu.
Si nimekuwa hapa, yes. Mimi ndio kama executive powers bado ziko na mimi.
He is a survivor, and it may not be as easy as Nyoro attempts his Nyoroshaing ways in Kiambu.
This is not a coup d'etat.
Na yeye pia hana confusion. Anajua mimi ndio mdosi.
By the way, Nyoro, that man behind you, what's he doing here?
Nimekuja kuleta maombi.
Then just focus on prayer. No land matters here, please.
Naye yule ndugu yetu, utakapokuwa ukiamua maneno zake, nimekuomba Bwana, wewe ufanye jambo yako ya siri, ili kwamba hii maneno ikae hivyo hivyo tu. Na ni kwa jina la Yesu Kristo tumeomba.
Then there was DP Ruto's loyalty pledge.
I am a very proud person, and I am a very proud deputy of Uhuru Kenyatta.
What did you think about that, Your Excellency? He was to ask. You'll have to try harder, he was told, and that's because of these guys. William, something is going on here.
Tumewaleta, tunajaribu kuwafundisha wawachane na mambo ya maandamano, wawachane na kitendawili, tuwafundishe tufanye kazi pamoja.
That's when just a bit of William's job description becomes public.
Mimi nimekuwa naibu ya rais kwa sababu Mungu amepanga ndio niwakemee wale wajeuri ambao wanataka kudunisha neno la Mungu.
That's a good job. Baba wants this man given a job too, but first his CV.
Mudhungu wa Gatanga. Tabia yake, vile yeye anajichukua, vile anafanya kazi yake, anafanya kwa usahihi, tena vile vile unaona vile anajivisha, anakuwa kama mdhungu.
Now go ahead, make the application.
Rais huyu mtu nataka na apewe kazi ya kufanya.
You never know when they are serious or simply playing politics. Look at this moment, for instance. The man was showing off his fatherly skills. And he continued.
Usishinde ukiangalia marinda ya wamama wengine huko. Ukiona marinda mzuri unamnunulia mke wako.
In the meantime, the dancing lessons continue, and they are now extending to Mashinani. And clearly, there is still a lot of work to be done. But things are changing. Donkeys are singing. Even if for now they are still singing in Indian. And the Chinese are beginning to do Kenyan things from very early age indeed. These ones are going nowhere, I tell you. Back to IT2.
Mimi naendelea kufanyia kazi Kiambu. Hata sio lazima nikuwe kwa ofisi.
Well, baba yao, all we can say is...
Sema kimeumana! Kimeumana!
Tafadhali gojeni.
Emmanuel Juma, Bullseye, NTV.
Bullseye always hits the spot. Let's move to sports, where Othe Kiru is standing by with that.
The Ministry of Public Service, Youth and Gender is hosting the 2019 National Youth Week from 6th August 2019, which will culminate with the commemoration of the International Youth Day on 12th August 2019 at Matunga, Kwale County.
Are you ready for Kenya's most anticipated color run? The Plascon Color Run on Sunday, August 11th. The color storm hits Uhuru Gardens, Langata Road. Come experience a whole new level of heaven on earth. DJ Music Mix Entertainment and performances by renowned artists. Gates open at 10 a.m. Available Kids Arena. Plenty of food and drinks. all day long. Simply dial *229*38# or log on to www.mtickets.com to get your ticket today. Plascon, color your world.
Enjoy all your favorite NTV programs on all free-to-air set-top boxes and digital TVs. Catch us on ADN channel 101 and 103, DSTV channel 271, GoTV channel 91, Zuku channel 13, and Star Times channel 106. NTV, turning on your world.
Each time I would get home after him, he would lock me outside. The evenings were worse. A few times my firstborn daughter would throw me stuff. I shared with my mom when I managed to. I remember her asking me, does he hurt you? Does he hit you? I said no. She said, okay, then it's okay. By the time I decided to look for help, I had been in the marriage for 19 years. And I had been in and out of depression. And I felt I was tired. I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of girl. I want to be happy.
Buy a Smart Cab Plus from us at 1.25 million shillings and get 47,000 every month. A Smart Chop Chop Cab at 675,000 shillings and get 25,000 every month. Maridadi Motors. Move your status.
It is time to play on this Dark Friday for Kenyan sports when SportPesa has pulled out all its sponsorship for sports, and that means Kenyan sports will have plenty of dark days ahead. I am Orote Kiru. It is time for NTV Sport, and the Sports Dispute Tribunal has struck out the Athletics Kenya decision that any athlete who has served a doping ban will never be allowed to represent Kenya. This follows a case by Kenyan sprinter Ferdinand Omanyala filed at the tribunal and argued by sports lawyer Sarah Otswada. Omanyala was banned in 2017 by the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAK, after testing positive for a banned substance. After serving a 14-month ban, the sprinter now seeks to represent the country, starting with this month's African Games and then at the IAAF World Championships in Doha in September. The tribunal ruled that AK's AGM, which came up with the ban, was not correctly constituted and that AK's decision did not distinguish between intentional and unintentional doping violations. The national women's rugby team, the Kenya Leonesses, beat Madagascar 35-5 in the opening match of the 2021 Rugby World Cup qualifiers in Johannesburg, South Africa. Celestine Masinde scored 2 tries, while Janet Okello, captain Philadelphia Orlando, Diana Awino, and Christabel Lindo bagged a try each. Meanwhile, host South Africa hammered Uganda 89-5. Next up, Kenya plays Uganda on Tuesday. The winner of the 4-nation round-robin tournament will qualify directly for the Women's World Cup in New Zealand. Some positive